everyone, today I'd like to go over some tattoo aftercare and what I like to tell people about how to take care of their tattoos when they go home. Now the first thing we'll talk about is your bandage and how long to leave it on for. Now in most cases you'll have been given some sort of absorbent bandage, something that'll soak up any blood and plasma that's going to leak out of your tattoo for the next couple of days or so. Now if that's the kind of bandage you receive, then you want to make sure you take it off at least 24 hours after you get it put on. So if you got it put on at 4 p.m., make sure you take it off at least by 4 p.m. But you want to make sure you leave it on at least overnight, because overnight your tattoo is going to be leaking ink and plasma, and for one, you don't want the ink getting into your sheets and staining them, but also you don't want your tattoo to pick up any dust and lint from the sheets that you're sleeping in. And when you go to take off your bandage, make sure you do so in a clean place. Give your hands a good wash with soap and water, make sure they're super clean, and then take your bandage off and give your tattoo a wash. You may want to do that in the shower or the sink, whatever's easier for you. Then either let it air dry or pat it dry with a clean towel. Don't use a dirty towel that's been laying on the floor or anything, and also don't scrub the shit out of it. If you have like a nice little face towel or something that you can keep separate for just washing your tattoo, that's awesome. Now there's a couple things that you want to do to make sure that your tattoo heals really well. The first one's going to be washing it. Wash it at least twice a day for the first week. Especially at the beginning, you want to make sure that your tattoo is really clean. So just every morning and night, give it a good wash to give it a clean slate. Now if it gets dirty throughout the day, make sure you give it another wash. If you're walking around town and there's dust blowing through the air and your tattoo's uncovered or your friend's cat jumps on your arm and just can't help pet it, make sure you give it another wash right after you put the cat down to make sure nothing gets in there. Now the second thing you want to do is make sure you moisturize. It depends a little bit on how dry your skin is, how often you do this, but rule of thumb is once or twice a day. When you go to moisturize, just take a teeny little bit and rub it into your tattoo like you're normally moisturizing. There's a couple different kinds of moisturizers that you can use, but basically as long as it's non-scented and non-dyed, you can use whatever you want. The other two things that you shouldn't use are Vaseline or polysporin, with the exception that if your tattoo is still really sore in like 3 or 4 days or so and still feeling really tender, you can put some polysporin on there just to make sure that it doesn't get infected. But if you don't need to use it, don't. Then of course there's a couple things that you want to avoid while your tattoo's healing. The first one is going to be soaking it. Make sure you don't submerge your tattoo in the bathtub or any pools or lakes or rivers and hot tubs. If you have too much moisture soaking into your tattoo, it's going to soften up that tissue and make it really easy to slough off even if you're just putting on a shirt or some pants or something. The second thing you don't want to do is to pick or scratch at your tattoo. It's going to get super itchy as it heals, but if you can do your best not to touch it at all, that would be the best. If it does get super itchy and way out of your control, give it a light little slap if you can, and then just leave it be. The last thing that you don't want to do is expose your tattoo to any sunlight. The sun is damaging to your skin on a regular day, but while your tattoo is healing, all that tissue is especially vulnerable, so make sure to protect it. Cool, so basically there's 5 things that I want you to pay attention to. Wash your tattoo morning and night while it's healing, moisturize whenever it feels dry, tight, and itchy, don't soak it, don't pick or scratch at it, and don't expose it to the sun. Thanks.